Well, good morning, YouTube friends and family, and welcome to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So thank you all so very much for allowing me some recovery time from my latest oral surgery. I'm still a little poofy on that side, but this has certainly been the easiest procedure I've had to date. So I was able to rest a lot over the last couple days. And hopefully today, being Saturday, the line or the queue to get your video uploaded won't be too bad on YouTube, and I can get this up yet today. So I want to say a big welcome to all of our new subscribers. I'm so delighted that you're here. And I also want to say thank you to all of my current subscribers. Many of you have been there since the very beginning, and I'm just so delighted that you remain a part of my channel and a part of my YouTube family. So I'm going to start today's video with something a little different, and then I'm going to explain a new series that I'm starting. So I actually have spoken before about how much I enjoy the Andy Griffith Show. And there are a couple Andy Griffith Show fan club type things on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Facebook, groups that you can join. And it's really a lot of fun if you're a diehard fan. You know, there's a lot of jokes that go back and forth using lines from the show. And there was a gentleman who lives in Canada. His name is Jeff Vola, V-O-L-A, who is doing pictures, drawings of all of the characters from the Andy Griffith Show. And at the end of this video, I'm going to do a slideshow of his work that's relative to the Andy Griffith Show. However, he has done I Love Lucy, All in the Family. He's done Betty White. He has done Star Trek. I can't even tell you the breadth of his talent. So he also does drawings from photographs if you would like something custom done. So I will leave a link in the description box below to his website where you can view his amazing work. Amazing work. His one photograph where, and it's actually of Lucille Ball, where half of the picture is the actual photograph and the other half is his drawing, and it really shows just what a talent that he has. But he does accept commissions if you would like to have a portrait drawn of. He's done pets, he's done families, you know, husband and wife. And so I wanted one of my son and myself, and I want to share it with you. So hold on just a moment. I'm excited to have this custom framed because having the right frame and mat is just going to be awesome. So this is actually my son Benjamin, my only child. He's 36, and myself, and I thought this was just a beautiful likeness, especially of my son. It just looks so real, he could jump off the page. So this will be framed, matted and framed, and will become a family heirloom that I will pass then on to my son. So I really encourage you all, go out, take a look at his work. Even if it's someone that is no longer with us, that you have photographs of, that you would like to create a keepsake, Jeff is your go-to guy. So please visit his website. Tell him Kim from the Wellness Homesteader sent you. All right. Let me put this away really quickly. You know how cats are. If you lay a tissue down, they think they have to lay on it. So I've been very careful not to allow Frankie near it. So it's actually double packaged right now. So I alluded to earlier, I'm going to start a bit of a new series because we are rapidly approaching the first day of spring. We have just over 2 weeks to the first day of spring. And with spring and warmer weather, at least for Ohioans, you begin to take off all of those winter bulky clothes and go barefoot or wear shorts or start wearing short sleeves. And many times our skin, which is the largest organ of our body, suffers during the winter. You know, we're indoors a lot of the time with heat running, so the humidity of the air is much, much lower than it is in the warmer summer months. And it dries out our skin, it dries our feet, don't always look so pretty come spring. So what I decided I'd like to do is bring you a series across the next couple weeks of some easy to make all natural products to get your skin looking beautiful and ready for summer. So we're going to start today with making, believe it or not, an all natural deodorant. So I'm sure you have all heard or read in various places that there is thought to be, I'm going to be careful how I say this, a correlation between antiperspirants and breast cancer. So I've actually made some talking notes so that I don't misspeak. But the theory was that the chemicals in antiperspirants, particularly aluminum, which is in antiperspirants, would enter into your body, and more so in women than men, because most women shave their underarms. So you may have microscopic breaks or nicks in your skin that would allow the chemical to travel into your body. And then, because we know that toxins are stored in our lymph nodes and our breast tissue and underarm tissue is rich in lymph nodes, it became stuck because we were no longer perspiring from that area, and therefore those toxins would then affect the cells and cause cancer. Now, according to the American Cancer Society, there is no correlation, and I'm quoting them, you can read it on their website, between cancer, shaving your underarms, and the use of antiperspirants. I'm not so sure that I agree with that statement, but they did go on to say that parabens, which are preservatives that you find in many products that you use on your skin, parabens actually have a weak estrogen property. So in theory, it could raise your estrogen level, and we know that that can affect, too much estrogen can affect or feed, if you will, breast cancer cells. So the studies have been very mixed about whether parabens might be the indeed culprit behind the unfortunate amount of breast cancer that we have here in the US. But, you know, with us having exposure to so many products, you know, you go in the store, I'm amazed. I generally shop at Walmart. There's like a whole aisle of antiperspirants. There are so many choices. And when you turn it around to actually read, well, okay, let's see what's in it. Well, first of all, it's teeny weeny print, number one. And number two, you can't pronounce the words. And number three, you probably don't know what they are. So I will also leave this link in the description box. There is a free app that you can download to your phone, and it is called, I didn't make up the name, okay? It's called Think Dirty. You can actually scan the barcode of any kind of product, whether it is a skincare product, a food, a makeup, you know, just, it's a huge, huge database. And when you scan it, it will tell you properties of that product that might give you pause or might make you want to think. So does it have a preservative that has been implicated in causing cancer according to California Proposition 65. I'm sure you've all seen that warning. It's really an interesting app, and it also, you can scan your cleaning products, you know, your toilet bowl cleaner, your sink cleaner, your dusting spray. And as I began to use the app, I quickly realized that there was a huge exposure on my part because of choices I was making, mostly for home cleaning products. So that's when I began to, having lupus and having an affected immune system or an autoimmune disorder, I began to create my own cleaning products and expand from just making soap to other bath and body products. So I'm gonna pause you just for a second here. I'm gonna grab a drink. I've somehow lost my sippy cup. Y'all know I have to have my sippy cup. And we're gonna get started making some all natural deodorant. So stay tuned. The crisis is over. I found my sippy cup. All right, one of the things that I did want to add is I did want to talk a little bit about aluminum. So for us ladies, if you've had a mammogram, you know, you're instructed to not use, and generally it says deodorant, but antiperspirant or deodorant prior to your mammogram. And the reason for this is antiperspirants do contain little aluminum particles that can show up as a diffuse scatter and mimic that you perhaps have a problem or the start of breast cancer. So that is why you're not to use talcum powder or antiperspirants prior to having a mammogram. A little bit more about aluminum I did want to share. The active ingredient of an antiperspirant are aluminum-based compounds. And these actually will block your sweat glands. So, and again, there's mixed research on this. The compounds can be absorbed by the skin and cause changes in the estrogen receptors of breast cells. So if estrogen feeds, if you will, or accelerates development of abnormal cells that lead to breast cancer, it's really unclear how much is absorbed of that aluminum and what effect it really has. The American Cancer Society has done extensive research on analyzing tumors to see, did those tumors contain more aluminum than non-tumorous tissue? And again, they said there was no conclusive evidence to say that the aluminum was the culprit. What I will just say is, why not err on the side of caution, right? So many of the deodorant / antiperspirant preparations do contain parabens. If it's an antiperspirant, it definitely has aluminum in it. So if you are looking for ways to walk that path of wellness where you're eliminating potential risk factors on what you consume or apply to your body, I think this is a great place to start. So I'm going to tell you, in full disclosure, when you switch from using a commercial antiperspirant to an all-natural deodorant, it is not an antiperspirant, your body is going to tell you about it. I don't know how else to say it nicely. So first and foremost, a deodorant controls odor. It deodorizes. It does not control perspiration. So the very first thing you're going to notice, and it may be excessive at first, is that you're going to perspire more. That's normal. I can tell you from personal experience that as you use it for a period of time, your body adjusts and you no longer have as much perspiration, but you are going to perspire if you just use deodorant. The other thing, we're going to be using some natural essential oils, and I'll explain that as we go along here. as our deodorizer. So we're not going to use any type of perfume, if you will, to cover an odor. We're going to actually attack the odor at the source by using essential oils that stop bacterial growth that causes body odor, BO, cause you to smell bad. So when you very first start to use the all-natural deodorant, you may notice that you don't smell so fresh at first. I will tell you that that does get better. This is a product that I have offered for about 5 years. I actually began researching and making this product because of a friend who had developed breast cancer and who wanted to get away from the use of antiperspirants and aluminum. And so after many recipes and trial and error, I finally happened upon this recipe. It is not my original recipe, and unfortunately, I'm not sure where I got it from. I'm telling you, if you Googled, there are 1,000 recipes. If you just Google natural deodorant recipe, you can also find some natural deodorants at the store. Again, I would just say, pardon me, I would just tell you, use your Think Dirty app, read the label very carefully. So, what goes into a natural deodorant? You might be surprised. So I'm going to swing you down here. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need something to put your deodorant in. So these I happened to purchase from Amazon, just happened to be what I have in stock. They're 2.5 ounces. And what this particular style, it's not quite as fat as the commercial deodorant tubes, but there are many options. Normally, I purchase these from Wholesale Supplies Plus, but guess what? They were out, so I went for the Amazon. So it has, let's see if I can get the lid off, just, the regular lid, and you can see the little stick here that will push the product up. These have the little button that you have to attach to the bottom. And I have made this mistake before. Press firmly, make sure that is on there tight, because that's what's going to actually seal it up, because when we pour it, it will be a liquid product. So you are going to need some containers. I am going to go ahead and spray mine. I do have gloves on. I did wash my hands. I'm going to spray mine with 91% rubbing alcohol just to kill any germs, because obviously even with gloved hands, I did touch them, and who knows who touched them when they were packaged. I did want to say a word too about the use of cornstarch. So we all have seen the commercials for shower to shower, baby powders, that kind of talc-based products causing asbestosis or causing cancer in the lung from inhaling it. So those kind of went by the wayside. Cornstarch is something that you will see as you do research online that people are using. My word of caution to you is that using cornstarch is not, but it may help make your underarms feel dry, but it does not contain anything that is going to naturally control the odor. And also, in some people, cornstarch will cause a yeast infection of the skin because, let's face it, our armpits are warm and they're dark, and it's a good place for germs to grow and for yeast spores to grow. So I do not advocate for just using plain cornstarch. I know some people do. I just think that you're putting your skin at risk of developing a secondary yeast infection. Okay, so what goes into natural deodorant? You might be surprised. So we're going to start here with, and I did this ahead of time and I actually put it in the microwave, 1/3 cup of organic coconut oil. And I'm just using, and this is my Bath and Body product cup. This is not a food cup, and it's just a 4-cup measuring cup I purchased from Walmart. It's an Anchor Hawking. So I have put flip to the recipe here. 2 tablespoons of the ultra refined shea butter. So there's a couple types of shea butter. Unrefined shea butter, or sometimes it'll say natural African shea butter, is a very dark golden color. I do not use that because it can, if you're wearing a light colored shirt and that deodorant has not dried, it can leave a mark on your top. So I use the white ultra refined shea butter, and that's 2 tablespoons. To that, I'm going to add our 1/3 cup of organic coconut oil. And you're probably thinking, well, oh my goodness, why are we putting all of these oily things in our armpits? Don't despair, we're not done yet. Now to that, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of beeswax. So not only will the beeswax help to firm up the product and make it more like what you would think of a solid antiperspirant texture to be, beeswax, many people do not know this, is naturally antimicrobial. So it's a great choice from that standpoint, not only to firm up your deodorant product, but also to help keep the odor producing bacteria that is on all of our skin at bay. Okay, so that was 3 tablespoons. Now, I am going to pause you for just a moment. I'm going to liquefy this and bring you back and talk about a couple recipes that you can use. So you do have a choice of scent. Both of the scents contain tea tree oil, and that is also an essential oil that is great, has great antimicrobial or antibacterial properties that will help keep you smelling fresh. And then to that, you have the option of adding either lemongrass or lavender. And I'll go through the amounts, and I will also leave the recipe in the description box below. So stay tuned. All right, so we have our shea butter, our coconut oil, and our beeswax all melted together. I just did it in the microwave. Mine took 2.5 minutes. So just remember, beeswax has a high melting point. Depends on the size of your pellets, how long it might take. And you want to stir it frequently so that you're not scorching your oils. So to this, we are going to add 1/3 cup of arrowroot powder. So I just have mine in a mason jar, so can't show you the package. Arrowroot powder comes from the arrowroot plant. It's a thickening agent. It's much like cornstarch, but does not produce the same skin issues with yeast overgrowth. So this will help to keep your underarms drier. So I'm going to just plop that in there, and it's very, very fine. It will put you in the mind of cornstarch. Some recipes call for cornstarch. I am not a fan of cornstarch, as I shared earlier. So we're going to mix that together. Now, you've got your choice here of, are we going to make lavender or lemongrass? Personally, I believe that lemongrass is the more effective of the two. Some people do not like it. So I will share a funny story. My son, of course, tries all of my products and is a fan of most of my products. I'll say most, not all. But he did not like the lemongrass because he said the first day he used it, he went to work and he kept thinking that he smelled Fruit Loops. I don't think lemongrass smells like Fruit Loops, but he did. So he was like, Mom, my armpits smell like Fruit Loops. I can't use this. So he prefers the lavender. So either or, we're going to add some tea tree oil. Now, you need to add either a generous 1/8 teaspoon or a scant 1/4 or 15 drops. Because I buy my essential oils in quantity, Mine do not have the dropper, so I can't use the dropper. So we're going to make lemongrass here. So equal parts of tea tree and lemongrass. And you do need to measure these. You don't just want to indiscriminately dump a whole bunch in because you want it to smell good. Too much essential oil can cause a lot of irritation to the underarm. And once we get this stirred up, because it will set up pretty quickly, I'm going to share some information about irritation and why I prefer this recipe. The final ingredient that we're going to add is we are going to add kaolin clay. And I purchased this clay from Brambleberry. And we are going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons. Now, I know that's like not specific, but it kind of just depends on how accurately you've measured. It can, how solid you want your deodorant to be. I generally will go for the 2 tablespoons. Now, while I'm stirring this, I can explain to you. You will find lots of recipes that contain baking soda. The reason that I do not use baking soda is, my original recipe I had more people complain about itchy underarms when I was using baking soda. It can be very irritating to some people's skin. Personally, I didn't like the baking soda. It did make my armpits itch, especially when I first put it on. So I chose to go to the kaolin clay if I'm using lemongrass. And if I am doing the same recipe but using lavender, I use bentonite clay, which is a little bit grayer of a color, but those 2 recipes have worked very, very well for me. And this is a product I sell quite a bit of. Okay, we're starting to thicken up here, and I don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead and pour, and then I will show you what it looks like here. And you know what? I'm going to actually pop this just for a second in the microwave because it's a little bit thick, so it'll pour easier, so hold tight. And you can actually use a whisk. This is much, much thinner and better, and it's coated here, so the beeswax was kind of setting up too quickly. So you just want to go ahead and pour it into your containers. And what I will share with you is any kind of container that has a roll-up feature, whether it's a hand balm or deodorant, where the little stick is in the middle, it will have a tendency to develop a divot right there. So I always leave a little bit to top off with. And actually, yeah. Alrighty. Let me just clean my gloves up here and I'll give you some final thoughts. All right. So, what do you think? Are you going to give up your favorite antiperspirant and give natural deodorant a try? It is an adjustment process, and the reason I chose to do this first is so before we get into the heat of summer, you could actually get accustomed to using a different product. So I'm interested to hear what you think and if you're going to give this a try. If you do not have the clays and you want to try the baking soda, again, 1 to 2 tablespoons of baking soda works as well. Just be aware that if you develop itchy armpits, baking soda is generally the culprit behind that. So I've had some questions about products, especially after I made my last soap. Will it be for sale? So let me try to explain just really briefly. So I used to have all of my products locally in a mercantile that closed down almost a full year ago now due to COVID and just lack of traffic. That mercantile now produces the subscription box for locals, but I had a lot of customers who still want to purchase soap and various products. So I am still making and supplying folks by request with products. What I'm trying to do is build my stock up a little bit so once everything is cured, I can offer it for sale. I've kind of gone back and forth, like wonder what the best way would be. I'm not going to do an Etsy store. I've done that. The market is way too saturated with, I'll say, soap makers. I never sold anything, plus with the associated fees, it didn't make sense for me. So probably the best way that I've come up with thus far, and I'm open to suggestions, is once a product is cured, I can put a post in the community tab. That way I'm not monopolizing videos with, I have 4 bars of this and 8 bars of that, and just say I have, a dozen bars of this available at this price, first come, first serve, and I will just fill orders until I'm out based on the order of your comments. I think that's probably the easiest way to do that. If the demand far exceeds my production, then I am going to need to step it up a little bit. But kind of on the side note, even though this is Sweet Honey Bath and Body, it's kind of turned into Sweet Honey Bath Body and Home, because I am doing quite a bit of sewing, and I thank you all for your orders for canning mats, canning mitts. I am adding some products. I will be producing and sharing with you some new products. Table runners is what I'm working on right now. I actually have a dear sweet subscriber who sent me an early birthday present that I want to share with you, some lovely, lovely fabrics. And she will be the first customer, actually, who is going to be purchasing table runners. So I will want to share those with you, and I've been working on trying to create at least one mat out of every fabric combo that I have. However, and thankfully, due to the number of orders I've gotten, I haven't achieved that yet. But I will be doing a video, a separate video from my regular, teaching normal videos, to share with you those fabrics and new products. So stay tuned for that. Some other winter, bye-bye winter skin products that we're going to be working on. I'm going to be doing some facial products, I've been asked. So I make a charcoal deep cleansing facial soap that is also appropriate for mature skin, so it's moisturizing. I've had requests to do a facial scrub. So get all that old winter, we tend to wear, or I tend to wear makeup in the winter because I'm so unearthly pale. So, really cleansing those pores and scrubbing away those dead skin cells. So a facial scrub. I make also a lip scrub that I'll be sharing. For our feet, for us ladies who are gonna break out the flip-flops, in the summer, I rarely wear shoes. I like going barefoot. I do wear flip-flops, so your toes are out. So some pedicure products, so a foot soak, as well as a heavy cream that's really good for dry, cracked skin that we get on our feet in the winter from our feet being shoved into boots all the time. And then the final product, what am I missing here? So for us ladies and gentlemen as well, I make a cocoa butter shave balm that not only smells amazing, it is rich in nutrition for your skin. It is aloe vera rich, and it is also pure cocoa butter rich. So I'll be making that. So this will be over several weeks. It's not the only videos that I'm going to have. We have Easter coming up very soon too. So I have some special bread I want to do for that, and just some various cooking things. And also it will be time to start planting seeds. So lots of fun and exciting videos coming up. So I hope you'll stay tuned. If you have somehow found this video by searching for natural deodorant and you're not subscribed, go ahead, click that subscribe button, the one below, and then select all, ring the bell, select all to be notified of all the new videos as well as community posts. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button. And I would love it if you would leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of natural deodorant. Are you willing to give it a try? I didn't share this, made 2 containers, 2.5 ounce containers of not antiperspirant, of the natural deodorant. I misspoke, excuse me there. So you can do it in small batches. That's very usable. You don't have to make, 10 containers at once. And after I finish this video, I am going to make a batch of lavender as well, because honestly, I sell about 50-50, so they're equally as popular. So as always, thank you again for watching. I want to thank you for your support too of Heather over at the Needy Homesteader. Her GoFundMe has been a tremendous success. I know how much she appreciates our love, our support, our prayers, watching her playlists. Again, if you haven't subscribed, go on over there and subscribe. Tell her Kim from the Wellness Homesteader sent you. Watch some of her absolutely fabulous videos. They're just amazing. Her bread videos make me hungry. So I have been in regular communication with Heather, and she's coming along. She's working very hard in therapy. Her children are also doing well. But grief has a very long timeline, and I'm sure that there is a lot of things that they are still facing and will continue to face. So let's not forget to pray for Heather, her children, Matt's family as well. So as always, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and I will see you all next week. Take care.